It still works. All right. And I think I just hit the wrong one, but oh well, doesn't matter. Anywho, hello everyone, and welcome to the BrOtaku Alliance podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about anime and manga and just other nerd shit. As you can see, we're down a person today. We are missing, what's his name? Anywho, it's just me, your host, Sean, and your other host, Serai. Serai, I am moving slower than I would like to, but I am moving on Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm getting there. I've seen now Geto turning evil. And it's interesting the way that it happened, because it seemed like he was sort of encouraged to do it by what I'm just going to go ahead and say is my new second favorite character, who is, I cannot remember her name, but the woman who rides the motorcycle, who also taught Todo. Okay.
I forgot her name too.
Yeah, but the conversation that they had, it seemed like that was part of what essentially led to Geto's decision to basically eliminate humanity. Well, eliminate all non-sorcerers specifically. Not humanity in general, but all non-Jujutsu sorcerers. Which, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like an easy task. I don't know if he's just trying to eliminate them everywhere or just in Japan, maybe. I don't know. I don't really see it working out for him. Her solution wasn't that great either. I mean, her solution was to make everybody Jujutsu sorcerers, which seems like it would be a little bit easier because technically everybody does have the potential to become a sorcerer. But at the same time, not everybody is really cut out for it, or I'm sure really even wants to do it. So I think both of them are going to have a hard time with their goals. Obviously Geto probably harder than her.
At what point are you? This is like after the star, or like?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Right after that. Which, by the way, they just found another replacement, just like that. So it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yep. Did you see the movie? Right? You saw the movie?
Yep.
It literally correlates to like. That's pretty much the ending of Geto right there. He died.
Right. I
don't want to spoil too much. Like, I want to stay quiet.
I mean, I know I know this is like the precursor to the movie, sort of. Like, it's showing him transitioning from being like, transitioning from being like a student at Jujutsu Tech, being Gojo's friend, and then essentially turning to the dark side when, where he eventually, I think it transitions to, it ends exactly when he kills all those people in that village because they were torturing the two little girls. Because they thought that they were the cause of all the issues that they were having, when really they were just sorcerers and nobody knew. His mission was to go and investigate the curses that were in the village, and he found out that the villagers were essentially killing or torturing these two little girls who were Jujutsu sorcerers, and he just snapped and he killed all of them. I think they said he killed like 100. There were like 118 or 121 people that he killed in that village, and from that point on, he was seen as like, an enemy of Jujutsu Tech and all of the Jujutsu sorcerers, and he was essentially sentenced to death. And those two little girls were obviously the ones that grew up to be his lackeys, I guess, or henchmen or whatever in the movie.
And oh god, and a lot more happens after that. Let's just say that they met the same fate.
Yes,
they did get the same fate.
Yeah, I would assume.
Quite unfortunate, the way that they, kicked the bucket.
Yep.
They kicked the bucket for being groupies. Exactly why. Because they kicked the bucket. All right. So first of all, at this point, when they're still around, Geto, alright, you know what, Sean? I'm sorry, you're gonna have to suck it up right now. The toys are coming. You have two
That's
toys.
fine. That's fine.
Okay, good. So at this point, where they're still around, Geto's already consumed by the brain. They can't tell for some. I don't know if they can't tell or they couldn't tell, but long story short, it's complicated. Like they think that he's still in there somewhere. Mm-hmm. He is, but he's not. Well, the theory is that he is, but it's not confirmed yet. Long story short, he's already being consumed by the brain, who's taken over, who's a sorcerer from 1,000 years ago, from when Sukuna was still alive. Keep up with me. It's a fucking mess. So
I've heard about the brain before.
Yeah, then. Just the amount of shit that's going on, it's like from all different angles.
Yeah.
So basically, they still think that he's alive in there somewhere. I don't know if they're oblivious to it or whatever, but that's on them. Long story short, they died because they fed Sukuna the remaining. I think they only missing like what, 2 fingers or 3 fingers left. I know they fed them a good amount of fingers at one time. Like I think it's like 7 fingers at once. And that's when Sukuna went ham on Shibuya. Because he consumed so many fingers, he went ham. And what's his name wasn't able to control it at the time as well.
Itadori
wasn't able to control Sukuna.
Well, also, I don't think, and I don't know if he knows by this point in the story, but Itadori, at least where I'm at, still has no idea about the deal that he made with Sukuna.
He does
Sukuna,
not even.
Yeah.
Not even.
So that's why he can't stop it anymore.
Yep. Not even in the Shibuya arc when he went ham. He doesn't have any recollection of the deal that was made to bring him back to life. Right. That he won. But like, bro, the amount of shit that goes on there, bro, it is insane. Every time, I haven't read the manga in a minute, probably like a few chapters behind, simply because I wanted to like let it go to see where it gets.
Yeah.
But the last thing I remember, I told you that theory about the fact that the brain is Itadori's mom, and that this whole play has been set in motion even before Itadori was born, so that Itadori can become the host of Sukuna, so that they can bring Sukuna back to life. So a little context on that. You see how Geto has the stars on his forehead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You know that they don't show Itadori's parents anywhere in the manga, besides a flashback. It was during a flashback that they show the father of Itadori talking to his dad, meaning Itadori's granddad. Right? Keep up with me. It's a little complicated. So, Itadori's grandpa. The grandpas are advising him to let Itadori's mom go. Like, she's not good for him. Just break up.
Yeah.
Alright. In a corner, they have an argument. In a corner comes Itadori's mom, holding Itadori, with the lines on her forehead.
Oh.
So people are saying that this is before Geto was, taking over. They're saying that the theory is that Itadori's mom died prior to that, or sometime around that time, and the brain took over and had Itadori with the intent to using him as a tool to bring Sukuna back to life, because who knows? I don't know the Itadori family thing. The long story short is that the intent of the brain was to give birth to Itadori, to implement him in the plan to bring Sukuna back to life.
Right.
Now this is the fun part. When the games start to bring Gojo back, or the quote-unquote the games start, I forgot that girl in the first episode that Itadori saves from getting consumed by the curse. It's like
with the glasses. Yeah. Who was in they were in the paranormal club or whatever. Yeah.
So, I think she actually joined to save Itadori. I don't know what the fuck it was. I can't remember. But long story short is the brain goes, "Thank you for saving my son," or "Sticking by my son" for this song. And when I tell you, everybody went ham. I mean, everybody lost their shit. Because you could see, people had it tuned together, was like, wait, my son? Yeah. He told the girl, thank you for sticking by my son, or taking care of my son this whole time. And everybody was like, what the actual fuck? And
but but that's so crazy, because how would the brain know about that incident? incident.
The thing is, I remember.
And she hasn't been by his side the whole time. I guess they meant just until they were grown up.
The brain is an actual sorcerer from thousands of years ago. So when the brain was alive, when Sukuna was, alive still. And So I'm assuming that they had some type of relationship or something like that, like friendship, to the point where Sukuna got sealed, and the brain's goal was to eventually bring back Sukuna so he can wreak havoc again on Japan. And that's still the main goal of them right now. The goal is to bring Sukuna over to their side so that, they can go crazy with the curses or whatever the fuck they got going on. But long story short is that's the theory going on right now, that the brain gave birth to Itadori with the intent of having him play as the scapegoat for Sukuna and become the perfect vessel for Sukuna. Because, you know what, something, Sukuna and Itadori look really alike.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, exactly when they first showed that, like, that first transformation with him turning into Sukuna, I thought Sukuna was just, like, an energy, that, like, the cursed energy was transforming Itadori. But then when they actually showed them inside Sukuna's domain, I was like, oh, no, he just looks like him. Like, they just look exactly alike.
They look exactly alike. And the only reason why... So, basically, I found out that the marks that they use in the animation is only so that we're able to know which is which. Because in the eyes of Gojo and all the other characters, they can't tell when Sukuna and Itadori switch. They could
probably tell by the cursed energy, but that's it.
Yeah, by the cursed energy. But, like, you can't really tell because they look exactly the same.
Well, I thought there is some, like, Sukuna has the extra 2 eyes. Isn't that in the manga, too? Like, under his, like, down here. Like, remember Sukuna has the 2 eyes down here?
Yeah, but Itadori, I didn't really... Let me see.
Because I think Sukuna has 6 eyes and 4 arms. Like his actual form has 6 eyes and 4 arms.
Yeah. Let me see. Before Sukuna. Name up for the. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. So before he consumed the finger, he didn't have the 2 things right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Man,
that's crazy.
I cannot wait to see how the fuck they managed to make this, like, make sense. I can already see where we're coming from, because that shit was like a whole, like, punch in the gut. I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean that he gave birth to Itadori? And when they showed that, you're gonna see it when you start reading more. Did you hit the Shibuya arc yet?
Not yet. I think it's next.
Once you get into the Shibuya arc, you're gonna see what happens after they play the baseball game. And like I said, everything goes downhill from there. No more happy moments. No more anything. Just straight up depression.
Well, the baseball game is at the end of season 1 in the anime. I'm past that already.
Yeah, but it's the end of season 1.
In the manga, after the baseball game, they go to the flashback with Gojo.
And then after the flashback, they go back to when Mekamaru is gonna be the start of the show. Which, God, what a stupid sacrifice that was made that time. I'm sorry. I hated the fact that fuck. I don't think I want to continue spoiling so much for you, because I want you to read you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me right now?
Well, I'm gonna read it regardless, because it's really, really good.
But did you know what?
Go ahead. Did
you know what Mekamaru did?
No.
Okay, then I'll just leave it like that. But let's just say, when you do read it, and we meet up next week about it, we're gonna be like, damn, what the fuck? Like, all of this for that, and they did it in nowhere.
Okay.
And right after I don't think they're gonna show the flashback in the second season of the anime, of the star or whatever. But
I hope they do.
I really do hope they do.
That's important.
I think it is really important to the story. It is important to the backstory. Because I don't think when they presented, I have not watched the anime in a minute. But they already presented, what's his name? Fuck, in the anime.
Geto.
They show Geto already?
Yeah. He's running around with the curses.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, they just showed Geto, which is why people got confused over the movie, because a lot of people don't read the manga. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. You don't have to read the manga. That's fine. You know, it just so happens to have more intellect than you guys do. It's okay. It's no problem. No shitting. No shitting. We just know more facts. It's okay.
Okay. No little shade to the anime only.
No shade.
Community.
But, you know, once you like... God, how do I say no razón el lazo? It's just...
Just say it.
It is what it is. Like, honestly, it is what it is. Like, I feel like some things, you know, you just have to read more into. Like, in the people got confused over the movie because they didn't know. They thought, you know, they didn't know who Geto was, like, really. And then they put out 2 and 2 together, which is why I advise people to just, you know, read the manga sometimes. Like,
yeah,
you can just read a little bit of it. It's okay. Like, it really ties the first season and the movie together.
Yeah.
It ties everything together because you need to know the backstory to before Itadori joined the freaking sorcery, whatever the fuck, Jujutsu Kaisen thing. Before he joined, you don't know what happened. You need to know what happened before so you can know what's going on. And that's really what the movie explains. It takes place before Itadori joins, and then the season, that's where we start. But I don't know, man. I just can't wait to see everything wrapped up. Everything goes to shit. Sean, I'm not going to keep spoiling more for you, for your sake, because I want to see your perspective on it when you read more and catch up to it. So, yeah. I'll leave my knowledge there.
I am excited to keep reading it. And one of the things that I've noticed is that, and you're going to hate me for this, Jujutsu Kaisen, it seems to really, like, steal from a lot of other popular manga in the past, but in the most, like, in like, the best way possible. Like, everything from the power system to the main character, the clans, like, the world in general, the villains, like, everything is very reminiscent of other, like, Naruto and One Piece and Bleach and, like, all these other manga, but it just takes it and it puts, like, a really cool, fresh spin on it. Because even the thing with, like, you know, Itadori's parents, like, obviously parents are always, like, a big thing in shonen, but, like, you know, particular in Naruto, finding out how important Naruto's parents were, or in One Piece, finding out how important Luffy's dad is. Obviously, we still don't know who Luffy's mom is, but there's a very important theory going around that Luffy's mom might actually be Im, who is the person that sits on the throne for the entire world government, basically the king or queen of the entire world. Because we just saw that person was introduced like a couple arcs ago, but we only saw their silhouette. And they're sitting on what was supposed to be the empty throne. To the rest of the world, it's the empty throne. But to the people who are in the world government, who are high up and who know about the real, you know, truth of the world, they know that there really actually is a ruler of the world, a singular person who rules the entire world. And that's Im. And the theory is that Dragon, who's Luffy's dad, who is a revolutionary, the reason why he's so against the world government is because he was probably a Marine, like Garp, his father, who fell in love with a celestial dragon, being Im, and saw firsthand some of the horrors and things that the world government was doing and decided to go against them. But it would also make sense because it explains why Luffy's so important to everybody, like why he's just such an important figure. Obviously his dad being, you know, the most wanted criminal in the world, but then also the reason why the world government seems to not go after him. Because if you notice in One Piece, there's like this weird thing with like the way that the government targets pirates, where like they'll so for instance, Nico Robin had a bounty on her head from age 8. She had an $80 million bounty on her head at the age of 8 simply because she can read the poneglyphs. So the government has wanted her dead or alive since age 8. All because she has the ability to read this information. She's been on Luffy's crew for forever, like for a really long time now. But even in spite of that, Luffy himself, like the Straw Hat Pirates, the government just doesn't go after them. It's the weirdest thing. Like, they have bounties, they have high bounties, but the reason why they had the warlords and the admirals and all these other things was so that they could specifically send the Marines out to go and deal with, you know, these problem pirates. And then on top of that, there's the ancient weapons, and like there's in the last couple chapters, they all pretty much confirm that the government does have access to at least one of the ancient weapons, which they use to destroy an entire country. So it begs the question, like, okay, well, if Luffy and Robin and the Straw Hats are so dangerous because of the connections that they have, how come nobody's actually tried to take them out? Like, they, for the most part, just been allowed to kind of run rampant all around the world, or the Grand Line, without anybody really coming to, like, destroy them. And part of the theory that people have is because Luffy might actually be the son of a celestial dragon, which would kind of coincide with, like, the Jujutsu Kaisen thing, because if Itadori's mom was the brain, then, like, it's kind of the same as if Luffy's mom was a celestial dragon. It's like both of them are essentially children of the enemy, like the ultimate enemy, really, because even though Sukuna is really kind of like the enemy, the brain is pretty high up there as well, I'm sure, along with what's his name, Mahito, I think, that curse that's with Geto, the one with all the stitches.
Neither.
So Jujutsu Kaisen is just like, it's so good, but it's good because it takes the things that work and just implements them in the best way possible and puts them all together. Like, even the thing with, like, curses, like, that's just like Bleach. Like, them exercising the curses. Even the way that they do it, and, like, the way that they explain how the curses come about. Like, in Bleach, hollows come about from when people die and they linger for too long in the human world, and they turn into hollows. And then in Jujutsu Kaisen, curses are born from, you know, negative energy and negative emotions and things like that. It's like they take, which is what all great artists do, right? Is that they borrow from the ones that come before them. They take everything that's like the best, all the best stuff from all the best manga and put it together, and it just works. It gets us every time. It hits every time. I can't wait for the second season.
Me either. I really cannot wait, because I know it's gonna go to shit, and I know everything's gonna happen, and I just cannot wait to see it. I just can't wait for it to get animated. The same thing with like, everybody, and like, it's amazing reading it, but it'll be like even like way better when you watch it. I'm like, oh shit, I know what's gonna happen already. That's really cool. Like, seeing it animated is a different story. Like, the same thing with, like, Demon Slayer. Everybody wants to see it animated. Right. It's just like, you know, everybody can't anticipate what's going to happen. People know, people read the manga. But it's like, you want to see it, you know, animated. I don't know. I just cannot wait. Like, I feel like it's going to be it's going to break the internet. I feel like there are certain anime scenes that are going to break the internet once they get animated.
And there are some manga that are better animated. Like, the manga was great, but the anime just is way better, because if you have a manga that's very action heavy, it's like it's hard to draw an amazing action scene. Obviously some can do it, but when you have that movement and that animation, like, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Like, Demon Slayer is a perfect example. Attack on Titan is a perfect example. Some manga don't really need to be animated. Like, the animation, the anime doesn't really, like, it adds to it, but it's not better. Like, for instance, Promise Neverland.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Like, Promise Neverland was a great manga.
They had potential. They got lazy. They had really good potential, and then they got lazy the second season. Right. They had amazing potential. They could have grasped it and made something amazing, like good animation. But no, they just thought, you know what, we're gonna take the easy way out. Fuck it, cut most of the manga. Let's jump to the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody hated it because I was really looking forward to seeing the manga animated.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is where rushing didn't play a part because it just came to shit. It literally took the whole, like, excuse me, the whole potential that it had and the fan base and just fucked it over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was so mad when I was waiting for the episode, thinking I'm gonna see the reunion of this, and then I go ahead and we time skipped who knows how many fucking years, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was so mad. I was so disappointed. I was like, you're telling me I waited for this. We have this up, and this is what you're giving me? This is what you could do? I don't know. At this point, I could have just left it out of season 1 and made the season 2 years after, and I would have been fine with that. As long as you would have given me what I wanted. Now, what you wanted, like, it was just like, oh yeah, this, and it's just skip all of this shit.
Right.
Like, bro, come on. Really?
And there was a time skip in the manga, but it wasn't that soon. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened in between them leaving Gracefield and them, having that time skip. It was just one of those things, like, this didn't need to happen, honestly. Like, the manga was so great on its own, and there's not really enough. There's a lot of action in it, but there's not enough, like, quick movements and, like, choreograph, like, fighting and all that kind of stuff for the anime to really be, like, something that's going to take it to a whole nother level, like a Demon Slayer, or like Bleach, or even My Hero. Like, My Hero, I think it was the same thing. Like, they kind of dropped the ball in the second season, because really in the manga, like, that whole, like, overhaul, all that was a great arc in the manga. I'm glad that this new season is being animated at another, like, the level that it really should be. Because the war, like, everything that's about to happen in the anime that all the people who read the manga already know about, it's about to be crazy. Like, My Hero Academia takes a crazy turn in the story from this point on. Basically, all of society falls apart. So I'm really excited to see that. Yeah, I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited that it's being animated the way that it should now. But yeah, but like it's one of those things. Like, Jujutsu Kaisen is definitely one of those ones where it's like the anime just takes it to a whole nother level. Yeah. And another anime that I feel the same way about just actually dropped recently, and I wanted to know if you watched it. Chainsaw Man. Yep. Did you watch it? You watched the first 2 episodes?
I watched it.
That was
I took today to watch everything too.
Okay. That's another one that I feel like the anime is gonna really take it to another level. Cause I'm gotta be honest, like, Tyrese actually introduced me to Chainsaw Man. When I first started reading it, I was like, this is great. By the time it was like a little over halfway through, I was like, I like it. I'm gonna finish it, but it's not my favorite for a couple reasons that were mostly writing related. But in terms of, like, the art, the panels, like, the way everything was drawn, it was still amazing. And I was like, this is something that's going to be an amazing anime, because when you have an amazing anime where, like, the animation is on point, the fight scenes, everything is, like, just on point, you can overlook some story shortcomings.
True.
Like, I think that was how a lot of people felt about, like, Demon Slayer, like, especially with some of the characters, like, there not being much character development or whatever. But it's like, bruh, I don't care. Like, I'm in it for these fight scenes, bruh. Like, I don't care about character development in this show. It's not a huge deal for me. These fight scenes are incredible. I'm gonna watch this thing until they can't stop, until they can't put them out anymore.
That's really what it is. You know, it took me a lot. Like, I didn't realize how expensive a single episode was.
Oh, it's a lot.
How expensive.
Yeah.
The animation. I was like, yeah, bitch. Like, I was so shocked. I was like, yeah.
It's a lot.
Shocked. I was 100 million. I was like, what the fuck? Like, one episode? I mean, I understand hard work, beautiful animation. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
One single episode?
A lot of people don't realize how expensive animation is and how long it takes.
They don't realize how, like, damn. Oh my God. That's why that's why I spend my money on, like, what's it called? Mangaka a lot, because it's like, supporting the artist itself, because that shit is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
That shit is expensive. This is not like a. Then I'm like, damn, that shit is not cheap.
It's expensive and it takes a long ass time.
Yeah. Now you see the difference in quality. I mean, Mappa has carried the anime community 2022. They did, what did they do? They did Attack on Titan.
Jujutsu
Kaisen. Like, they have been carrying a lot on their back. And I can't even lie. Like, everything that they make is good because they take their time. I'm just like, I really pray for the animators because shit. Imagine back to back. People were dropping and passing out from the exhaustion.
Yeah.
Because they had to stay in the animation studio until things were done, and I do not agree with such tactics. Damn, I was looking for this all along, and I found it right on here. Great. Anyway, not the time for that. But as such tactics like overworking animators and stuff, it's not good. Everybody deserves rest. And I feel like if you rest, you're gonna be more refreshed. So But to me, it's just insane to find out how much a single animation episode is worth for like big anime series like Demon Slayer that requires a lot of animation to be added to it. I was shocked. I was like, they make me appreciate it even more. Anytime I see it, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, for the people listening at home or whatever who don't know, like the reason why animation is so expensive is because of what's known as like frame rates. So if you're shooting a regular like movie or a TV show, you set the camera to a certain frame rate. So for instance, the base frame rate for most shows is 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second, right? Basically, essentially what's happening is the camera is taking 30 pictures every second and putting them together in a sequence where it looks like, movement. But really it's 30 pictures in 1 second, and they stitch them together the same way that, like, if you've ever taken the Post-it notes, like a stack of Post-it notes, and you drawn like a different picture on each one and you flip it really fast and it looks like it's moving. That's exactly what cameras do. They take 30 pictures and put them together to make it look like it's moving. In animation, 30 frames is 30 different pictures that have to be drawn. It's not the same as recording action with a camera. You literally have to draw something 30 times to make 1 second of an anime. Like you have to. So imagine a 20-minute anime that is in HD and is like 30 frames per second. Old school anime was 15 frames per second. That's half. Like all classic Dragon Ball, Pokemon, all that stuff, and from like the 90s was 15 frames per second. Animes now are doing double that.
Yep.
For as long, if not longer, episodes. And movies. The movies are even higher frame rates because that's how you make it look even more fluid. Like it's crazy. So you have to hire like a lot of people to get something like that done, especially on a week to week basis. If you're making the anime week to week, sometimes they just, that's why we don't really have week to week anime anymore. Like, I think One Piece is the only popular like anime that's still week to week. Everything else is seasonal. So they get a couple months, you animate an entire season, and then you just put it out week to week. But the whole season has been done for months. And then, while the series is coming out, the animators are working to make the next season. But the idea of having to do all that on a weekly basis, like, you have to have a huge team. That's a lot of people that you got to pay, not just to draw it, but to color it, to animate it,
we got voice,
to edit. Yeah, voice actors.
You gotta pay the voice actors. It's just a lot of money. A lot of money. Which is why you should always support the actual the actual people who put out the anime. Those who parasite, even though I'm a hypocrite sometimes, but in other words, I do, try to support your favorite creators the best that you can in the correct way by purchasing manga, or whether it is watching from actual like Crunchyroll, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Viz.
Yeah, Viz. Just, actual resources that support the creators themselves.
Yeah.
They get a part of the income from, because that shit. If you want good anime, you're gonna have to start supporting, the creators. That shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants shitty anime. Nobody wants rushed anime either. Not to change the topic. Did you watch
Seven Deadly Sins?
Oh my
yes.
God.
Yeah. I knew exactly what you're gonna say. Season 4 of Seven Deadly Sins. Yes.
Oh my God! What a joke!
It was bad. It was terrible.
What a joke! And I love Seven Deadly Sins. I love it. I love it. But oh my God, that made me stop watching it.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed with the fact that they didn't even want to animate blood. Are you kidding me? Blood? Like, it was just white, nothing. I'm like, you son of a gun. Like, come on now.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
And if you stop and you pause at any given time, you're gonna see some shitty ass drawing. That's what.
And look,
shitty ass drawing.
I don't remember if I told you, but Rob, I don't know if you remember Rob, who used to work with us.
Yeah, I remember
big
Rob.
guy. You do?
Yeah, I do.
When Seven Deadly Sins season 4 came out, he was still working there, and I remember how irate he was, because that was like one of his favorite anime. He literally just he would watch it, but he would just take hella screenshots like throughout the entire episode, and he would just be like, look at this shit, look at this. Why is this like this? And I'm just like, Rob, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. And he's like, this is terrible. How did they put this out? I could have did better than this. I was like, I'm sorry, Rob. I don't know what to tell you. It's bad. I know. Like, he was pissed. I can't imagine the entire anime community, like, how they probably felt at that moment. And to be fair, like, I don't even think Seven Deadly Sins has received any real sort of like buzz since then. Like, people don't really talk about it anymore.
Nope, they do not.
One bad season. And to be fair, I think Seven Deadly Sins was one of those anime that kind of suffered from what I was talking about, where like the anime was really what got people, because the story itself and the manga really couldn't hold up. Like, the manga and like the story itself was really just a lot of like fan service and flashy fights and stuff like that. And the anime, the fight scenes and all that was really what drew people in. And when that dropped in quality, it was just like, all right, I don't really have any other reason to watch this anymore. I'm not super invested in these characters or this storyline. Like, there's really no other reason for me to continue watching this. Sort of like, like a Demon Slayer. Like, if Demon Slayer had terrible animation, if they dropped it and like those fight scenes weren't looking the way that they looked, I don't think that would be nearly as popular as it is.
No. Like, man, at this point, man, I don't even know. Like, when I saw, I was so disappointed. I was like, you have got to be kidding. I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Because it was just so bad. Like, so bad. I was like, what? Like, I waited. I'm really a fan of the openings and everything, and I enjoyed it while it lasted. I didn't even watch the last season that dropped anyway, but
yeah, me either.
It was good, and then after that, I was just like, damn. The moment that I saw that they didn't want to animate blood, I was like, I'm out. Gotta go. Why can't you just animate the blood? Come on now, it's way too past to try not to be gory. At this point, it's too late. Yeah, you lost me. And I've never watched it since I dropped it.
And I think Seven Deadly Sins also had like the misfortune of being one of the earlier adopters of the sort of swords and sorcery format. That we're seeing a lot more now with like Black Clover, Ranking of Kings, like Shield Hero, like all these other anime that have come out with the sort of like medieval times theme. ReZero, Redo of a Healer, like Goblin Slayer.
God. Oh God, okay.
Like all these other anime that have come out with like knights and kingdoms and all this other kind of stuff, and they're just doing it better. Like Seven Deadly Sins is kind of like not the source anymore for that kind of content. Yeah,
storyline,
better storylines, just as good if not better animation. Yeah, it's kind of just like it disqualified itself from that category.
I think one of the things that really threw me off is, well, at the time you didn't really like pay attention to it, but the more that you like, there's the relation between Elaine and Van, like I don't know. First of all, I think it was selfish. Second of all, the fact that she looks like a child. And third of all, why the fuck would we bring her back to life? Just let her rest. But
yeah.
Oh my god! Now that I just thought about it, did you see? Okay, so alright, putting that aside. A few years down the road, fucking god, yeah, I sort of got Seven Deadly Sins, and you know, Midoriya has a child with Thingamajiggy. The other two have a kid, Elaine and Ban have a child as well. Down the road, you know that girl that tried to get at Ban?
The Knight?
Yeah. You know who she gets with? The child, the son of Ban and Elaine. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yes! Yes! That is my thought, yes! She couldn't get the father, so she got the child.
That's so weird.
Exactly, and this is why people don't like it no more.
Like, Elaine and Bond's relationship was
questionable, but
it was it was questionable because, how can I put this? It was questionable because it's like, are you actually attracted to this person? Now, mind you, it would make more sense if Elaine had the ability, like King, to transform her appearance. And, like, King's actual appearance looks like a kid, but also all of the fairies, like, look like kids. So they're actually, like, super old, but they all look like kids. And they're fair, like, that's the trait of their race. But we've also seen that several of them, including King, have the ability to make themselves look older. So it's like, if Elaine did that, then... Yeah,
if her actual shape was that of a child, but, like, you know...
Right, then it wouldn't be as weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But they are also both, like, Elaine's much older than Ban, and they're both kind of immortal, so they had that in common. Like, it made sense that they bonded.
But that was it was toxic. It was a really toxic relationship, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was weird.
But the craziest, weirdest shit was that down the road, instead the Knight can't get to Ban, so she got the child. And I'm just like, that's just weird, my guy.
It was weird. Twilight. It's like Twilight.
Yes, it was. I'm like, that's just some weird ass. Where the fuck do you hear that from?
Yeah.
Like,
it was odd.
Shocked. I was like, Like, I saw it. I was on Twitter scrolling, and I saw it, and I was like, you have got to be fucking joking right now. So weird. And then I go up and I look at it, and I was like, you have got to be joking right now. Pass me the bleach. Somebody pass me the bleach so I can see this shit. No, it just went to shit. Like, I don't know. I'm just not a fan no more about it. Even though I love all the openings.
Yeah, it was weird. It got weird.
No more. It got really weird really quick.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of animes have a tendency of going down the weird road pretty quickly, actually. Mm-hmm. Like, you have something, you don't know what to do with this, so you turn into shit. That's pretty much where they go. Like, you just wasted a fan base, and you wasted money, you know, so it's just...
You can only survive for so long on cool fight scenes and fan service.
Yeah, you can only survive for so long when there are multiple competitors putting out way better quality, way better storyline, less cliche, because we love a good cliche story, but, you know, it's just, too much is too much.
Yeah.
You know, make yourself original. Put something in there. Or by yourself. Don't just, you know, follow storylines like everybody, like, you know, the cliche, like, oh, this person ends with this person. I just make this, I don't know, just make this shit fun. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to stay up top when there's so many competitors and putting things, like, for example, you got Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is out now, so that's the hottest thing at the moment.
Yeah.
There's all these other animes that drop within the same season, but will not probably reach the top because nobody really is worried about the other ones. They're worried about the main event, Chainsaw Man.
Now, see, Chainsaw Man, I think is going to have a similar problem as Seven Deadly Sins.
I hope
because there's a similar story that there's a manga that has a similar storyline to Chainsaw Man, but the story itself is written way better, and it just got approved for an anime, and that is Kaiju number 8.
I heard of it. And
Kaiju number 8 has a very similar plot line to Chainsaw Man, where the main character, the main character like fights monsters, and he essentially fuses with a monster and becomes like part monster himself, and he can change back and forth. And, you know, he uses that ability to fight monsters and stuff. But with Chainsaw Man, the main character is really kind of a dunce. Like, he's sort of an idiot. He really doesn't have... His life has been so terrible that he really has no ambition other than to just live a regular life. And because of that, he's very easily manipulated. And he's... Like I said, he's kind of an idiot. Like, he just does whatever people tell him to do. Whereas in Kaiju number 8, like, the main character has more of a moral compass. He's also not the smartest, but you want to root for him because he's got actual ambition and goals. He has a friend who he wants to help, but she's actually much stronger than him. So his whole goal is literally to just be strong enough to fight by her side and help protect her. And he's also older. Like, it's one of the first shonen I can think of where the main character is over 30.
We did talk about this, I remember.
So, and the storyline is it's great. So, when that gets animated, I think people are going to start to see that the story in Chainsaw Man isn't quite as well-rounded as they might be thinking. But again, you know, that's the thing with anime. You can get by sometimes on great fight scenes and action scenes and fan service until something else comes along that's in the same genre as you, that's just doing it better. And has a great storyline. So, like, once Kaiju number 8 comes out, I feel like Chainsaw Man might have some pretty stiff competition. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen is already kind of its competition as well. I think Chainsaw Man, like, they were very strategic about releasing it when they did. Making sure not to release it any time around Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2.
When does that shit drop?
Or Season 1, actually, because Chainsaw Man was supposed to be released last year, and they pushed it back.
I would too, because...
Yeah, because Jujutsu Kaisen came out. So, I think they were very strategic about that, and I think they kind of already know, you know, it's best to put it out when there isn't really much competition in the same genre. Or same, I guess, subgenre. But with that being said, there were several anime that came out this season alongside Chainsaw Man, including Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War. They just dropped the first 2 episodes. Those look amazing. Those look amazing. It was I'll say this. The new Bleach and Chainsaw Man have the best animation that I've seen since Demon Slayer.
Ooh, pretty big thing we're making here. You heard it here first, folks.
Actually, I might even put it above Demon Slayer, not because, just because of the art style. Like, I like the art style that Kubo uses, and I forget his name, the mangaka for Chainsaw Man. The actual art style, like the way they draw their characters, I think is a little bit more just realistic and kind of grounded than Demon Slayer. The characters in Demon Slayer were very, like, almost chibi. Like, they had, like, huge eyes and, like, really rounded faces. Like, there was nothing wrong with it, but it looked a lot more sort of cartoony. Whereas Bleach and Chainsaw Man look much... You can tell they're going for a more realistic type of art style. Combine that with amazing animation, and it looks damn near like a movie, like a live action series. But crisp animation. Bleach, specifically this last arc, is another one that I feel like is going to be way better animated than it was to read. Bleach sort of fell off towards the end. Just like Naruto, just like Dragon Ball Z. Like, it's a problem with a lot of long-running manga that, like, towards the end, you can tell the mangaka is probably, like, ready to let it go, but the studio isn't. They're like, no, this is making too much money, you got to keep it going.
Yep.
Bleach really sort of fell off towards the end, but in this last arc, the 1,000-Year Blood War arc, they went into it with the plan that it would be the last arc, so they could really kind of go all out on some of the fight scenes and stuff, without worrying too much about what comes next. So this final arc of Bleach will probably be one of the best in terms of like the entire series from a story and animation perspective. I won't spoil you on some of the cool things that are going to happen. Don't spoil me
nothing. I have not watched the episodes yet. Not
okay.
Thing.
You didn't read the manga either?
No.
Okay. Did you read? Did you watch any Bleach?
Yes, of course I watched Bleach. It's like
okay.
Yeah. I finished.
Can I spoil you on one thing?
Fine. It's only fair since I've been spoiling you a lot.
So you know who Kenpachi is, right?
Yeah, of course I know who Kenpachi is.
Kenpachi gets his Bankai.
Get the fuck out.
Yep. I'm not gonna tell you what it looks like. I'm not gonna tell you when it happens.
Enough. That's it. No
but
more.
Kenpachi gets his Bankai.
Okay, enough. No fucking way.
Yep. Because you know how strong he already is without having a Bankai.
Good. Yeah. That's why he wears the eye patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what the
he wears the eye patch to make himself weaker.
Yeah.
He wears the eye patch and the bells on his hair to literally give his opponents an advantage in their fights, because otherwise he would win too easily and he would get bored.
Yep. All right, no more spoiling. That's it.
Nope, that's it. I won't give you anything else. But yeah, that's one of the most hype moments of this arc. One of.
No more.
No more.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Chainsaw Man too, of course. And then the other one that came out this season is what is this now? Season 3 or 4 of My Hero Academia.
Stopped being a fan a long time ago, so I haven't kept up.
Well, I'll say this. From the animation that we've seen in the first 2 episodes, it looks like they're picking it up. They're getting back to like season 1 form of My Hero Academia, where like they're really like they're putting a lot into it. They're not shortcutting anything.
Right.
It's just really great animation.
It's just the fan base that kills it for me. I can't.
I know.
I can't. It's so cringy. I cannot enter that fan base. I just can't put myself in that predicament.
I think
it gives me the cringies.
What I've been able to sort of do, like I'm a lot more involved in the One Piece fan base, like watching YouTube videos, putting out YouTube videos, talking online and like communities, Facebook groups and all kinds of stuff. In the My Hero Academia community, I'm just not a part of it at all.
Oh, that's just some this gives the anime community in general a bad rap, because nobody wants, if you see somebody, oh, what's your favorite, and then be like, the moment you say My Hero, that's it, it's a rap, it's done, I don't want to hear it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love anime, I love all kinds of anime, but the fact that it literally killed that fan base literally killed every single like ounce of anticipation that I have for the anime. I stopped watching it like second season. I was like, yeah, that's it. I saw this TikTok of this cringy ass let's just say I saw a TikTok that made me completely like, you know what? Game's over. That's it. No more. I cannot do this to myself.
You can't.
I never look back.
But you can't let them ruin it for you.
I know, but they just make it so hard. It's like I cannot put myself through that predicament, because it's like every time I think about My Hero, I always have that video in the back of my head, and I'm just like, yep. It's a reminder of what not to do. It's like, yep, can I watch it? I loved it though. Like, I really did enjoy the storyline, and I was really interested. I left it where Bakugo got kidnapped. That's it. I know the spoilers.
You missed a lot.
I have. I'm telling you, they killed every single hope in me to finish that anime, because it was like, I was like, what the fuck? It was just cringe. It gave a really bad rep to the anime community as a whole. Like, I was like, this is what people say, that the things to say about us, because people like them. It's like, damn.
So did you see the fight with All For One and All Might?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you did. You finished that. You finished that season.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, second season was not great. For a couple reasons. animation wasn't great throughout the majority of the season. It got pretty good towards the end. But also just like the way that they organized it, it didn't really make sense. Like the way that they sort of, the points that they decided to start and end the second season were weird. Yeah, it didn't really make sense. It's like they started the second season at like a point where nothing was really happening. Then in like the middle, there was this huge climax. And then through like the end, it was just kind of like nothing happening anymore, which was weird. So it just didn't really make sense as far as like from a storytelling perspective. But this season that's out now looks like it's going to be the best one yet. Because I can say for sure in the manga, this arc, like the past two arcs that we've been in, have been by far the best two arcs. And on top of that, some of the fights that happen are on a whole nother level. And then some of the things like going on with Deku, do you want me to spoil it for you? You know about Deku and his
and
quirk?
How he goes, no. I mean, I know some about his quirk, but not really too much. I don't think I want to know either.
No. I'm not going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
But in the story, they've already said this. You know how quirks evolve with each generation, right? So if you're if your mom had a quirk where she could like levitate, and your dad had a quirk where he could, I don't know, like, you know, his hands were sticky, like he could climb up walls or whatever. You, as the child, might have a combination of both those quirks.
Right.
Like, for instance, that's why Endeavor was trying to have kids with, I forget her name, but his wife. The reason why he chose her as a wife was because he wanted to give birth to a kid who had ice and fire powers. And his older kids obviously, you know, didn't do it. They all had either ice or fire powers, not both, until he got to Todoroki, Shoto, who has both. He has half ice, half fire. So the whole point of the whole thing with quirks is that there's something called the singularity, which is when quirks evolve to the point when, like, they can no longer be really like predicted or controlled.
Right.
Like there's just no telling what a person's power could do. Like it can just go to a level beyond like what we can imagine. And everybody is trying to figure out what's going to happen when that moment is reached, when the quirk singularity happens. I will say Deku is pretty much there.
About to hit that point?
He might have already hit it.
Oh.
Him and Shigaraki.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the reason why is because of the quirks that they have in particular. There's also like some revelations that happen with some of the past users of One for All. The quirk that Deku has that he got from All Might. It turns out, this is kind of a spoiler, but it's not a big one. It turns out they didn't live very long.
Oh.
All the past users of One for All did not live particularly long lives. One of them died in his late 30s of old age.
Oh?
Yeah, like his body literally just like broke down.
God.
And he died, but he was in like his late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Are we implying that nothing's gonna happen to Midoriya?
It's not.
Because they hit that point already?
Pretty much, but also because of the nature of the quirk itself.
Oh.
So,
I'm spoiling myself here.
I know. It's hard to explain it without spoiling you, but essentially it's like... Go ahead.
No, I mean, okay.
Don't tell it. Don't say it. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna spoil it.
I'm probably just gonna have to.
But yeah, there's some crazy shit going on with Deku.
Damn it.
And
I think I might have to keep it on.
You should be able to see it very soon. Actually, no, they showed it in the last season. Yeah, so if you watch the second season, they actually explain it.
Well, I guess I will have to watch that because, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to add something else to my list then.
Yeah, but it's crazy though.
I can see it in your face. Like, yeah, holding back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
but
to
you gotta watch it though. You gotta watch it because this next season is gonna bring you back. Because I was the same way. Like I fell off from My Hero Academia for a while too. I think what got me back into it was switching to the manga from the anime because I got to go, ahead quite a ways to get to where we are now, which is the best time in the series.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do the same thing then. I think that's what I'll have to do in order to get back into it because other than that video just sits in the back of my head like, yeah, bitch, don't watch that shit. But
part of the reason why I still watch the anime is because I'm not a huge fan of the way the manga is drawn. So that was like, from a story perspective, like a writing perspective, I read the manga so I can know what's going on and be up to date on everything.
Right.
But in terms of the way I actually like to consume the material, I prefer to watch the anime because some of the ways that what's his name, Horikoshi, the way that he draws the panels and like the fight scenes and stuff is actually really confusing. Like he uses a lot of black ink, like all together. Like it's kind of hard to really make out what's happening from just the manga panels. So that's why it's like the anime really, it sort of refines it and makes it easier to understand what's happening. A lot of times when I'm reading the manga, I have to read the same page like 3 or 4 times.
Ooh.
Just to be like, oh, okay, this is a kick. Like, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Then I'm like, oh, okay, this is like this person's kicking this person. Okay, I think I see it now. It's not that he can't draw, it's just that the drawings are like all over the place.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
Yeah. But the story is really, really good. So yes, I would definitely advise you to give it another shot.
I will have to. At this point, yes, I will have to.
Yeah. If I can get caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen, you can get caught up on My Hero Academia. I'm not going to pressure you to get caught up on One Piece because that's a monster. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, I'm slowly but surely tackling the problem.
Right.
Ahead. Yeah.
Have you ever seen that the appeal of One Piece video?
Mm-mm.
There's a video online by he's got like a weird name. Super Eye Patch Wolf is his YouTube channel name, but he made a video called The Appeal of One Piece. And it's like, hold on, let me see. The appeal. Yeah, so the video, it's called the Appeal of One Piece, Where to Start. The video came out 5 years ago. It's by Super Eye Patch Wolf. It has 1.2 million views. And it's basically like just a video of like why people love One Piece. And it's really cool because it's funny, and he breaks it down pretty well, like why One Piece is such a good manga or whatever. But he's also very honest. Like he doesn't make it sound all glamorous. He's like, look, it's a lot. There's over 800 named characters. It's a lot of episodes. It's a lot of filler.
A lot of commitment.
Yeah, some of the anime isn't that great. Some of the characters aren't super well developed, but for the most part, it's amazing. So I would definitely, anybody who's listening to this who's thinking about watching One Piece, I would definitely recommend you watch that video by Super Eye Patch Wolf. It's called The Appeal of One Piece, Where to Start.
I think I'm out to watch it better to see if I can. I think I'm out to watch that video to see if I can, catch up better because Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot to tackle, man. I caught up to Naruto when it was still airing. So I caught up to Naruto Shippuden while it was still airing.
I did too.
We're gonna see.
I did too, and that was tough. I One Piece, obviously I caught up to when it was still airing, but Naruto and was Bleach still airing when I was watching it? I don't think so. I think Bleach had ended. Actually, yeah, because I started watching Bleach because Naruto ended. So, I think they both ended around the same time. So yeah, so Bleach was actually done when I started watching it. What?
No, I'm gonna make a joke, but I'm just gonna keep that one to myself.
You're about to call me old?
Yes, I was.
Yeah,
actually.
That's fine. I know I'm old. I'm still under 30 at least.
Good.
Yeah. Everyone thinks I'm old because I didn't just get the ability to go into a bar and get a drink.
Not yet. Mine's actually next week.
Oh my god! So you still can't even go and get a drink.
Not yet.
Do you know what you're gonna get for your first drink?
What? No. Soju.
What?
Soju. Korean.
Sake.
Is it one? Is that Korean sake? Yeah, soju.
Sake is like a rice wine, I think, or something like that.
But long story short, it tastes like
How do you know what it tastes like?
Because according to people.
Right.
According to people, it tastes like juice. So I want to get my first bottle, and I cannot wait. So people are asking for my ID, so I'm gonna slap this shit on the counter. Here you go. About time. 21 years waiting period.
You've been waiting to drink for 21 years. You're just a baby, like, I can't wait to get some alcohol.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I cannot. I cannot wait to slap my ID on the counter.
Well,
and forget.
I'm 28 and I still can't do that because my ID expired. When I slap it on the counter, they give it back to me. They're like, "Yeah, we can't take that." Actually, I'm like, "Oh, damn."
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna be like?
Especially now. When the beard is still here, I can get away with it. They're like, "Yeah, you're old," but when it's shaved down, then they're like, "You could be 30 or you could be 18. We're not sure." And I'm just like, "No, I'm really 18. Really? Thank you." But no, I'm 28. And they're just like, well, that could be a fake ID, sir. You don't even look the same as in the picture." I'm like, "I know. I shaved my hair. It's me though." It's tough. It's tough. Actually, you want to see? There's a little treat for all the people who are watching this on YouTube and not just listening to it. This is my CCP ID from when I first started at Community College of Philadelphia. Ready?
Mm-hmm. God damn! Whose man is this? What year is that? Holy shit, is that 2014 or something? I can't fucking see.
Wait, why is it not focusing?
I'm fucking blind. I can't see shit. Whose man is that?
I don't know why it won't focus.
The 2015? 2016?
Yep, 2015.
Holy fuck!
Whole afro, no beard. That wasn't shaved. That's just how it was. I just had some sideburns. That was it.
Holy shit, Sean!
And then this is my current ID.
Whose man is this?
Look at the change.
Holy shit! Holy shit! The change is there.
Yep. And then this was what, 2018?
Holy
yep, 2018.
Shit.
So this is a 3-year difference.
Dude.
That's 3 years.
Oh my god. Oh, damn.
Yep. That's what working full time and having a kid will do to you.
Oh, thank God. We don't go. Damn.
Crazy.
Yeah, definitely crazy. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
That's a rough 3 years right there.
Holy shit, Sean! I'm shook.
Yeah.
I'm shook to the core right now. Holy
crazy.
Cow.
Crazy.
Oh,
Time flies. Sometimes
it
crashes.
I'm about to have a panic attack.
Yeah, that's gonna be you eventually.
I'm having an early life crisis right now.
Your little lawyer outfit on and your gray hair.
I don't need the realization that I'm gonna get old, please. I'm already in the middle of my early life crisis.
Yep.
Thanks.
All you need is 7 years, and you'll be right here with me.
No, thank you.
Actually, I'll still be 7 years older. By the time you're 28, how old will I be? I will be 34. Damn. By the way, I'm sorry to anybody who's listening to this who's that old. You're not old. You're still young and spry. Don't listen to me. I'm not dreading my 30s at all. I'm sure it'll be fun. Yeah. My daughter will be 10 by that point. Jesus.
Oh my God. Time goes by fast.
Well, 34 she'll be 11. That's crazy. Wow. Not ready for that.
Is reality gonna hit you now? Okay.
All right, let's change the subject.
I
got a second tarantula.
Oh my God.
That has nothing to do with anything. Oh. So I don't know what to name my second tarantula. I don't know whether they're male or female. The first one I named Onigumo, which is a One Piece character. He is the spider devil fruit. He's a Marine vice admiral. The second one, I don't know what to name. There's one name that I'm like, I think I'll name it Black, because it's not really black. I don't want to name it Black Maria, because that's also a One Piece character. I don't know. What's a good spider? Because it has to be an anime name.
What's the, hold on. I got you right now.
That's what I'm thinking of. There's two names that I've got like in reserve. Black Maria, if I ever get a black like tarantula, and then Shadow. Shadow is actually the name of the spider in a very old WB Kids anime that I used to watch when I was little called Spider Riders.
Have you thought about using names from Hunter x Hunter or no?
Oh, the Espada!
I mean, it's fun too. But there's like, you can go on, write up your, what's it called, your search thing really.
Damn, what is his name? Why can I not remember their name? The Phantom Troop.
Yeah. We got Phaeton, we got who else we got? We got
Uvo.
Uvo too. Uvo, even though Uvo died, was the first one killed, but it's okay.
Yep.
Uvo.
There it is.
Uvo will work.
Uvo. That one's
Boom.
Uvo. My second tarantula's name is Uvo.
Boom.
Nice. Onigumo and Uvo. Well, now it's weird because there's like 6 people in the Phantom Troop, right?
Just get 4 more tarantulas. Boom. Or 5.
I know, but I don't have... But now I got one who doesn't have a Phantom Troop name. That's fine. I can do Phantom Troop and One Piece characters.
Boom. There you go. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Alright. That's cool. Alright. Well, Sadai, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about today on today's episode?
Not really.
Alright.
I gotta make sure I catch up with everything so I can catch up on Jujutsu Kaisen so we can talk about this next week.
I am. I've had a Jujutsu Kaisen manga, like the tab, like on the internet where I'm just reading it. I've had the tab open on my phone for like 2 weeks now, where like whenever I don't have anything to do, I just go back to it. So that way I don't have to search again for the manga. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to it as soon as we're done here. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was another episode of the BrOtaku Alliance podcast. Please make sure to go and give us a like if you're watching this on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Add us to your favorites list if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts. Go to the website, check out some of our other content and our other podcasts. And then, of course, last but not least, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on TikTok. I believe Marquise is still making TikToks for the lowlights. Or you can follow us individually on Instagram, me and Sarai. Our pages will be linked in the description. So, without further ado, thank you. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.